We're going to hop into a hot seat to start off this podcast. 5 questions to get to know my guest, Seth Baker. Seth, question number one. What is your best Tinder pickup line?
Oh God. I got two. So the first one, you throw in a feeler or a fishing line of like, are you a cigarette? And the best ones, because they're going to expect you like, because you're lit or like you're smoking hot or something like that. And I say no, but good try. And I says, I want to get you lit and put your butt in my mouth. So that's number one. Good. And my feeling on these is if they can't laugh, we're not meant to be like, together anyways. So
Yeah.
And then the CDL, I asked them if they have a CDL. They're like, most of them don't know what a CDL is. And it's like, it's a commercial driver's license, so you can operate and back up that dump truck you have. It's the best
That's
ones I
awesome.
got. Like I said, if they
That's
can't
awesome.
laugh to it, it's not meant to be anyways. So
Yeah, definitely. And I feel you on that. Like, if they don't have a sense of humor, on to the next for sure.
right, it's like, come on, it can't be that serious anyways. So you gotta start out in the right tone.
I like it.
Yeah.
Question number two. What is your ideal Saturday routine?
Oh man, okay. So if you guys, I guess this is how you get to know me. I guess currently live in Columbus, Ohio. So live in Dublin specifically. And if you're familiar with the part town called Bridge Park, there's a North Market. It's like a food market there,
Bomb.
and it's awesome. So if next time you're in Columbus, let me know. I'll take you. But so hit the gym, wake up around like 9, sleep in, get a good breakfast, hit the gym, and then there is I swing by a place called Coastal Seafood, and it's got the best lobster roll in Columbus. So I grabbed me a lobster roll, a little bit of guacamole on top, and then grab an old fashioned. So I'm a bourbon fan. And then that's how you start the day off. And then I have to go back and typically work and chill. Maybe do something social at night or maybe bum on the couch. That's the ideal Saturday routine as of right now.
Bonus question. Best
All
bourbon.
right. Best bourbon. Ooh, man. Best bourbon I've had or
Yeah,
like,
let's go with that.
okay. See, damn, that's so hard because like I'm a fan of like expensive things. I like gimmicks, like anything to tell a story behind. So I've had like Pappy Van Winkle 15 year. And I've had a fair amount of that. Do I think it's the best bourbon? Absolutely not. So I'll go with that answer. It's the most expensive, but it's not my favorite. Daily drinkers like Knob Creek or yeah, probably Knob Creek, honestly, right now. That's what I got a lot of. Yeah.
I feel you.
Or Eagle
For me,
Rare. Eagle Rare. I go a lot with Eagle Rare too. You know?
yeah. I've definitely had that one. For me, I would have to say because I was in my cousin's wedding and they grabbed a bottle of Angel's Envy, but it was
Yeah.
pretty good.
Yeah, dude. I got a lot of coworkers that like the Angel Envy, honestly.
Yeah,
So yeah. Nice.
gotcha. Good taste.
I'll go with you there. For
Yeah.
sure. For sure. Yeah.
All right. Question number three. This is marry, fuck, kill. Your
Oh
first
God.
option is the average bikini competitor that consumes around 50 grams of carbs a day. Option number
Okay.
two, that chick that's powerlifting. And option number three, the fitness rave chick.
Oh God. Okay. Dude, so I feel like the fitness rave chick like is like the Instagram toxicity. So
Yeah.
like, oh man, but also a lot of fun. A lot of fun. So I'm gonna go like fuck the Instagram rave chick. Um, for sure. Not talk to her the next day. Um, I'm going to marry the power lifter because she has daddy issues, likely. And I appreciate like fucking strong legs. Like about like a personal like opinion of mine is like I want like quads because like it tells me like they've endured some pain. You know, that's just my opinion. Like you've worked for it. I'm cool
100%
with it. I
agree.
love it. Yeah. And then I'm probably going to kill the average bikini competitor, honestly.
She out of here.
Um, Yeah, it's just like there's more to life than eating 50 carbs a day. So it's like get smart and transition or improve on things or bite the dust, I guess, on that one.
Right. 100%.
That's no offense to my current clients that are bikini competitors either. We're getting you there. Or like they're already there, so it's fine. They don't qualify as that anymore.
Client coach relationship is teeter-tottering. Precarious.
Yeah, I had to think. I was like, whoa, hold on, I got to provide some clarity to that. So yeah, if you're working with me, you're obviously not an average bikini competitor anymore. So it's all good.
Good clarification there.
Yeah.
So reining it in a little bit with my fourth hot seat question. Tell me a little bit about your competitive bodybuilding experience, man.
Yeah. So started competing. I guess I was mentioned on a podcast a few weeks ago. But Adam Neff. So I went to Wright State in Dayton for school, and was doing CrossFit at the time. And I figured out really quickly that the staff there or the box, I guess that's what you want to call their gyms, I attended was not equipped to coach at all. And I was looking for something to kind of fill that competitive gap. And the DARE programs growing up, so don't do drugs, for whatever reason, really stuck with me. And I was like, all right, I'm gonna do something without drugs, without steroids, or anything like that. And got into training again, bodybuilding at our rec center. And there's this dude had this sweet leather belt, had the Ray-Ban knee sleeves. And I was like, I got to train with him. And met Adam and then another guy named Andy Beigel, who I'm still friends with today, really close, lives in Columbus too. And started competing in 2014 and did the NPC Monster Masters in Cincinnati. Did pretty well. I came up short for the overall. And then I did the Ohio Natural, which is an OCB, which is a polygraphed tested federation. And I won that. And then in 2020, so this year, the year of COVID, I took it around a little bit more. I did the Ohio Natural and NPC, and then the Indianapolis Natural and NPC, and I was able to knock out some overall wins there. And yeah, I did that. It was pretty cool. I did the bodybuilding and then did classic in Indianapolis. So that was pretty cool.
You won a classic show?
Yeah, I won the classic. I'm going to provide some pretext that the Indianapolis probably wasn't the most competitive show by any means, but nonetheless, I wanted to see if I could take both of the classes, which is cool. And then dabbled around in some powerlifting in between that as well. So kind of
that's where I remember seeing you is at 614, and I feel like you were definitely in a more powerlifting because you were moving weight, and I was like, damn. Of course, everyone at that gym was fairly strong. So
sure, yeah, and I always feel like that's a really good atmosphere to be in, especially from either one powerlifting or bodybuilding, because the expectation of strength drastically goes up, right? You'll go an LA Fitness and the guy squatting 315 is strong, and then guys are warming up at 405 at 614 of those gyms.
Yeah.
So yeah, just the standard of what's deemed a solid performance and what solid training intensity looks like, it definitely changes that dynamic for sure.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on the Wright State Rec Center? I have a client that's using it right now.
Yeah, it smells like a fucking dirty shoe in there. Most of the machines were broke, but
yeah, the hack squat was broke for so long, bro.
But for some reason, I got it done in there, man. There was a lot of quality gains put down in there, and they let me slam weight on their floor for a number of years before they required us putting mats down. So kudos to them. Broke some concrete, and yeah, started the journey. So I don't have a ton of bad things to say, but it's a humble roots, if you want to call it that. Yeah, for sure. That's for sure. Yeah.
My fifth and final hot seat question is right along that same vein. Why the fuck did you go to Wright State?
Wright State, wrong school. I warned you about this question, man. So there's a positive. It's gonna start really sad, and it's gonna get positive towards it, I promise. So my mother passed when I was 11. Today is actually her birthday. She'll be 58. Actually, this is her jersey. Funny enough. I did not mean to wear that, but So she'd be 58 today. She passed of basically like stage 4 cancer of like brain and lung cancer. So like crazy story behind that all. But what means like I guess it relates to my college was I had like survivor benefits essentially of that. She was a teacher, so I had like enough money to pay for my education, and Wright State was cheap enough that that tab got covered in full. So thanks, Mom. And then the second part to that, my dad was struggling and did struggle with alcohol for like 8 or 9 years after. So he is, and this is the good part, my sophomore year, he sobered up and has been sober since. So, I mean, incredible kind of shift in life for him. Damn. But I chose Wright State because it was close enough, because at the time it was a really bad spot for him. And I didn't know where it would be or where it would go, but I wanted to be close to home, or had to be close to home, honestly. So that's the Wright State wrong school that got the job done. And I always say, like, dude, if I was went to OSU or something like that, there's no way I would have been a bodybuilder. Like, there's no way I wouldn't have been able to like keep focused. There was no social life at Wright State on the weekends, or very little, or one that I felt like I was missing out on. But OSU had been like, I got to do all this. There's too many hot girls. There's too many cool places to go. You know, like a lot of distractions. But Wright State definitely didn't pose that problem.
I can't believe you let me ask that question, bro. I'm not even gonna lie.
Yeah, no, my bad. I told you, I warned you on that one. So my apologies, but all good. Like, don't like. I mean, it's been almost 17 years now, so like, don't worry about that at all. But yeah, that's the reason why I ended up in Beaver Creek, Ohio for school. Yeah, state school.
That is really cool, yeah. Man. And I'm really glad that your dad's in a better spot. But yeah. I think, dang, that just says a lot about you and like the value of family, the value of the value of just your moral compass, man. We had a little bit of a conversation before, and yeah, that definitely clears it up. So
that's awesome, I took a DISC test today, and I don't know if I was kind of like those things, the personality assessments.
Yeah.
And I feel like some of them are like really shitty, and then like other ones do a really good job. And I feel this one actually pretty nailed it. Like, I scored extremely high, and I'm very competitive, and like I'm in bottom line oriented, and like I've been called transactional even in kind of like how I work. But you know, like that aspect of my life with like my father or whatever, you know, like it provided some needed humility, or like ability to empathize and sympathize with people, especially as it relates to like addiction and drug use and things like that. You know, like there's a typical person that can get like portrayed as an addict, right? Or someone that has a drug issue. And it you know, it provide like I'm sure I would have carried that opinion too. Like, oh, if you're, you know, a drug addict, is like I instantly put the blame on that individual and write them off as kind of like a bum. But it's like, my dad was that, and like easily the person I respect most in this world. And like a lot of humility and knowing that, like, you know, like, although from what we had to portray to the community was like, we're like a, you know, a family that was in line, or like really like had our shit together. Like, dude, you never know what people are dealing with behind the closed curtains. And even at those times, like, you don't know what people are going through and what they even realize they're going through. Like, the shit, how like I would internalize that, like, and deal with it was like, I was extremely short tempered. I was very irritable. Like, I was very dismissive of people. And then like you get away from that, and like I was able to develop in college and things like that. And I was like, I'm able to reflect on my behavior in the past. Like, you know, I didn't have a little bit more of an impact on me and how I behaved at that time than I realized too. So helped you grow up quick. I guess that's how you kind of like sum that all up for sure.
Well, thank you all for joining us on episode 36. No, I'm just kidding.
Guys. Such a downer. I'll try to be more entertaining from here on out.
No, that was cool, man. I didn't expect that at all. And that was really cool. I do appreciate you talking about that. And like, I feel like everybody can relate on, you know, some level. And it's very formative in my experience as well. So
yeah.
Respect
exactly.
for that.
For sure.
So
I'm not a person that dwells on shit, but
yeah.
like, you know, I definitely like, obviously your experiences are what mold you, and try to take from it what you can.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
So Seth, I mentioned how back in the day at 614 barbell, I saw you throwing around some big weights, but I'm very interested to hear how that passion kind of evolved into you taking a role as a coach for other individuals.
Yeah, man. So like, I think like most people, like 2019 was a crazy year. All right. And then obviously into 2020. So I was going through kind of like a career change at that time, spent some time unemployed prior to COVID, and then secured like a job doing what I was doing closely before.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm reaching out to get a drink, guys.
Yeah,
But so I was spent some time unemployed and really trying to pursue something I'd be passionate about,
mm-hmm.
because I'd spent 2.5 years slaving away, essentially doing something I didn't enjoy, obviously. And again, coming from a very kind of like small town, I think you and I talked about, you're from Urbana. I'm from a very small, like agriculture based, traditional, what you call conservative community called Washington Courthouse. And, you know, doing things that were atypical, even like as bodybuilding, like I'm not a weirdo, but I'm definitely unique in my hometown, if that makes sense. And, you know, doing something atypical was like hard for me to kind of get my mindset. And today, in today's now and realm, it's like you can do just about anything with the power of the internet and then social media and things like that, as long as you're good at what you do. So long story short, COVID hits. Obviously, we get shut down, and then I'm in my new job, and I have a lot of time working from home, a lot more time on my hands, and you know, the mass influx of at-home workouts and all that kind of stuff like pops up. I'm still thinking of like, what can I do to like, you know, ensure I never struggle financially again, or like, if I am struggling, at least I'm going to love what I do and have control of my own destiny, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, coaching always been something that like, you know, people would ask about in the future or the past. And I was just like, you know what, like I see what's out there in terms of the quality of coaches. Do I think there's a lot of good coaches out there? And, you know, and we talked about this prior to jumping on this, but like a lot of good coaches, a lot of really poor coaches. And I knew from both my like experiences of being a good bodybuilder, and I say good, I mean an effective bodybuilder in my off season, and then also when I get on stage, I knew, and then also like my powerlifting experience, I knew I possess, and I do possess a unique skill set to help a lot of people. And I was just like, you know what, kind of went out on a limb. I was like, fuck it, this is the year to try it. There is no failure in this measure. It's free to start a business online now. And I was like, you know what, I'm going to start prep too. And also I started competing, or like start getting ready for show season. And here we are. So yeah, excuse me.
Nice, man. And that's a whole endeavor in itself to start a prep while simultaneously getting your coaching business going. So that's big props, because I have never done a bodybuilding show prep, but I can only imagine how you know, low energy you might have been some of those days, and how the diet and training process can definitely accumulate on your brain power as well. So that's a cool little story in itself. One thing that came to mind quick question. Were you coached as you got into shows, or has that always just been kind of a thing that you were like, I'm gonna do it myself?
Have I ever had a coach? No. As it pertains to bodybuilding specifically, and actually pretty protective about that, at least as it pertains to like what I do personally. I hired a coach who is a very popular coach today, who I hope and I think has improved on his on the way he goes about things. We'll say his process and protocol. And I feel like I made him probably in the best possible you can ask a client to come to. And I worked with him for about a month, and I ended up firing him. So, and still went through and won all my classes. And like I said, lost in an overall to a guy who was like 42 years old. Named Kyron Moses. I don't know if he still competes, but Kyron Moses was like a an airplane hanger in terms of his back, like just massive guy. Really had a lot of years under his belt. Didn't I losing to him in other words, but yeah, and like I think there's some pros and cons to that, and I think I apply those in my coaching process as well. But no coaches in bodybuilding, coaches in powerlifting for sure. Yeah, and that was really good because that helped out with program design and understanding concepts and being able to apply those better too.
Nice. I don't know, man. There's just something romantic about someone that can go and compete at a high level doing it all themselves. And that's not even to discourage people from using coaches because we're both coaches, right? But I think it is a cool story to see. There's so many different scenarios and circumstances for every individual. And I would say personally, I've worked with a trainer. I worked with Zach Gallman at 614 because I was like, I'm about to be a trainer and I've never worked with a trainer. So which was, by and large, a cool experience where I learned. So not discouraging it, but I think that is really cool, man. And I give you props once again to be able to not only compete, but take those experiences and apply them to your own coaching business. So that's really cool.
Yeah. Like I've actually another podcast in which I kind of use this analogy, but like I'm a golfer actually by trade as well. Like that's why I did like high school. I was really passionate about golf, and
nice.
Yeah, golf is that like game that like what's the saying? It's like can never be won, right? Like Tiger Woods can go out and win the Masters, and then I'm sure if you talk to him afterwards, there's going to be like one or two shots that he dropped or could have made, right?
Yeah.
So in my opinion, like bodybuilding is very similar to that in the way that like each prep is an opportunity to better upon the process, but there's still it's still going to like have opportunity for improvement always.
Yeah.
And I think if you get extensively into like program design, powerlifting especially, but bodybuilding as well, you'll see those opportunities to optimize and better things over time and learn things. And sometimes it's going to be like in my position, had to learn through a lot of failure. Partly because I once I did hire a coach and I had a bad experience, I was like, I'm poor as fuck. I'm in college. I'm not paying anyone else. I'm just going to learn this shit or like learn through failure. And part of that was like also that, hey, I see value in wanting to be able to do this by myself and take on that responsibility to just be that much more hyper in tune and learn to create, control, and manipulate a process to be as effective as possible.
Yeah.
Right.
That's really cool, man. I also golfed in high school, and there's just like, as a quick aside, the one time I've only broke 80 once. The one time I did, I shot a 77 and I was still bitching about the round. And that's a great analogy to any type of resistance training, because whether you're prepping for, like in my case, I've done powerlifting meets or a show, there's so many little variables that you might say like, maybe I could have done this, or maybe I could have done this better. And it's just an ongoing learning process that's so addicting. And there is just infinite things to learn and consider, which is why I like this field and, ultimately why I think I decided to pursue it. So
100% right. And like golf may be another good example of that. There's like, I'm 27, guys, so I'm a little bit older, and like I feel like I'm getting old at least. But like Jim Furyk, for example, I don't know if you remember him.
Yeah,
goofy ass swing, bro, but like
so
self-taught.
Really,
right? Self-taught. His swing pattern is very weird. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Or you could versus like looking at Rory McIlroy's, right? Which is like system trained, like perfect, like we'll compare like a highly educated individual. I think there's room for both on tour, for example, room for both in the industry. And then I think both have opportunities to learn from each other, if that makes sense.
Yeah. And from stalking your social media over the past several months, would you say it's safe to say that you're a big Bryson guy?
Bryson DeChambeau?
Yeah.
Dude, hits bombs, man. I love that guy. Yeah. He's awesome. I think I'm a fan of like underdogs and the perspective that like a lot of people told Bryson that like if you watch or dig into his past, like the dude like reconstructed his swing pattern, and he's very quirky. All the lengths of his shafts are all the same length, which if you know anything about golf, that's not standard at all. And his thing is he's seeking perfection. Love that. And then loves to just hit, like I said, hit bombs, dude, and like likes to play the game differently than most. And I feel like I just resonate with that. I'm like underdog, kind of not countercultural, but like I've always just kind of said, I'm gonna find my own little way, own little niche, and I'm gonna beat your ass at it too, like or try to, or like try to be as competitive as possible. So yeah, resonate with DeChambeau a lot.
Have you ever like I mean, I don't know how like deep you get into golf. I love golf, so I'm gonna preface it with that. But like just his swing, right? It was so different and very methodical and like scientific. And he got so much kind of kickback from that, and especially with, as you were saying, the shaft lengths. What an interesting guy. And then he just bulks up to like, I don't even know what, 230 or 250 or some shit, like full send bulk.
Yeah. I think like, I forget what angle, but like he wants to maintain a certain arc and a degree of angle in his swing at all times. So, like I said, it's super fucking cool to watch. Super interesting guy. I don't know if you saw the video. He was like doing swing speed training, and BJ Singh, which is like an older guy, kind of more Jim Furyk era. BJ was like standing there, like laughing and watching him as he's like ripping as hard as he fucking could, not even looking at the ball. Like he would just like, bah, and then like not even see where the ball went, but then he'd like, look back, get another ball, pull and tee, smack. And I like I said, I nerd out to that stuff, but like what he was doing was he knows his swing speed and ball speed with every swing almost. Like he can tell you.
Yeah, he was calling it out.
And he was calling it out. And that's why BJ was laughing, because they were watching his swing speed or knew it and he would call it. He was like ball speed that, ball speed, swing speed that. And he was working up to like, I mean, the dude swings as hard as like most long drivers, which is like obviously you can tell by his distance, but
right.
Like I said, just kind of like the process and being that like I'm not traditional, I'm very science oriented, but like I still like to carve out my kind of own path. Super, I very much so resonate with guys like DeChambeau, if you want to call it that.
Yeah. That's cool, man. Cool another little aside of a golf passion, as well as a hypertrophy and resistance training passion. That's cool, man. I like it.
Yeah. And like I would say honestly, like here's the like I guess like my tidbit, if you want to call it that, like through doing it the non-traditional way. I think for a lot of people, the biggest benefit that they're going to get from coaching is an objective viewpoint or an objective standpoint in terms of like, especially bodybuilding preps. We are our absolute worst enemy. I mean, I'm sure you're familiar with the term like diet goggles or diet mind or something like that, like brain fog, all that shit. Like I saw a photo for myself the other day with like this hollowed out fucking skinny face, right? And it's like, I was dick skin lean at that point, and you can still, like say like, man, I got fat to lose, or like you can be critical of yourself, and especially for like, first time competitors, like that is a tough thing to navigate through, and like each prep for me, like personally, I think I hopefully that's consistent throughout the sport. Hopefully, is it like each prep. On season 3, my third this last year was by far the most successful and by far the easiest as well. Like the least amount of cardio, the best I've maintained my personal life and social life, the best I've felt, the best I like in terms of performance, maintained performance. I pulled it, I think 605 for 3 on a deadlift at like 8 weeks out at like 183 pounds. Like separated glutes and all, did it like hit a solid fucking triple. So
Jeez.
what it has forced me to do is be able to look at my own process as well as others and analyze it from an objective viewpoint, and take emotions out of it and just say, where can we better it at? Where does it need shifting or adjustments at? And what variables are we able to manipulate to make sure the full system in itself is working together? So, and I do that in a couple ways. So like a lot of my consultations with, especially like female clients right now, that's where I'm kind of finding my niche at, is like, I call it finding the break in the chain in terms of process that allows you to be successful, right? So there's a ton of chatter right now. I think it's overrated from the majority part. I think it's good that we're bringing attention to it, but like hormones and digestion, we'll call it that. That's like, we'll call it like the all-encompassing term of health. And then like, we'll call it their nutrition and then their training. Well, if you have a break in the chain of those three items at any point, something else is going to suffer. So, in the perfect world, we'll say our health for the most part is in a pretty good position, but our intake is just like in the fucking gutter. You're eating 50 carbs like a shitty bikini competitor. And I say shitty because like if you're dying on 50 carbs, you're a shitty bikini competitor. Like, let's be real. I think we're all good enough that we can have like better intakes, or at least this point in time in history. But if you're eating like shit, or like you're eating such low calories, obviously you're gonna have no energy. Your ability to recover is gonna be absolute trash. That's absolutely going to spill into your training intensity. So now we have, two breaks in the chain, but decent health. Like, but that's not going to get us to the stage. It's not going to help us bring a better product. It's not going to help us, maintain lean tissue if we're in a deficit, or put on tissue if we're in an improvement season. So like a lot of my process, or a lot of my analysis is making sure that we're maintaining all three links to that chain so that they're all working together in synergy and helping each other as well.
That's a great analogy of looking at how you can use that objectivity to help people, especially within physique sports.
100%, man, 100%. And like, I think where I'm seeing the most success and where I'm also seeing a ton of enjoyment is working with females, for sure. Because it's the biggest need, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think, between, if you want to call it like active wear, like gym outfits and shit like that, and then social media, like TikTok and all that, like fitness is as much a part of the health and beauty and makeup industry as it is vice versa. So like, now we're working with not just women who want to get better, but like every single woman on this world, buys makeup and wants to wear, some athleisure and look good in a pair of Gymshark leggings now. Every single girl does. And it's great because like, God knows the United States needs to like improve on their overall health and wellness. Like obesity is the pandemic we all should be paying attention to, in my opinion. Not going to politics, but like that's where we need to focus on, right? So, but you have a lot of like women that either through a lack of nutritional knowledge, no relevant experience in terms of weight training, whether it be just like poor health in general, whatever, like there's so much a culmination of a need of helping girls. Like I've kind of found my niche of like, I'm not their last resort, but they've gone through a lot of failures and they're actually like willing to like, be receptive and learn. And then it's just a drastic impact when I get a hold of someone and can make a massive turnaround and they're both in their physique, but also their health too.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. How do you approach some of the differences that females require in programming, maybe even nutrition protocol and all that stuff?
Yeah. So it's like getting a really good understanding of where their starting point is, in my opinion. So like, if you like go to my Instagram page right now, you don't have to search too far, but her name's Quinlan Walther. She's from Oregon, or that's where she lives. And Quinlan is an absolute workhorse in terms of like her ability or want to get into the gym and work hard. And I say as a complete compliment to her. But it was almost to a fault prior to working with me. She was like an Orange Theory advocate. It's like Orange Theory Fitness. And, like, I think that like for the most part, general population of staying healthy, Orange Theory is a great option, in my opinion, just like whatever it is. But if you're trying to improve your physique and composition, probably not the best option. It's a system that constantly requires overreaching. Not obviously not a really progressible format of training, and in terms of just practicality, it's not going to provide a lot of data for adjustments. So when I started working with Quinlan, it became, first off, we need to make everything visible, or like something that we can visibly work with. We're not coming into the session guessing like we would an Orange Theory session. And then also, like for her specifically, it was like, we are no longer going to train 6 days a week and do sprints afterwards, right? We're going to be measurable and have intent behind our training and emphasize recovery as well. And then for her, it was it's like scaling her back, but then also getting her to eat more. So a lot of that was that. So it was putting her intake in a place where we're going to do a lot of damage because of how hard she trains. Now we have to put the position for the bodybuilder utilizing the nutrients that we're putting in so that her physique could grow and performance could keep up with her output. And, as soon as, again, we restored, and her big thing was recovery and nutrition. As soon as we restored those links, dude, she started at I think 60 fat and 150 carb. And I think we worked up to 340 carb and 85 fat, gained about 4 or 5 pounds to her physique in total. And then, literally you can look at her butt and it's like, that's where it went to. That's where that weight went to. Like, she literally put it on her delts and her butt, which was the ideal area, and just looked incredible. But in my opinion, I thought it was really cool because, the goal was she is now able to be successful at that intake no matter what. She can go out on the weekends, enjoy her friends. She can go to dinners, and the process has built itself to a point where literally there is no. It's very hard for her to fuck up, I guess, if that makes sense.
Definitely. Yeah, I feel like we're in such a better spot for female physique athletes than we were 5 years ago. It's night and day, like you were saying. And I was thinking of this while you said it. Two girls that I have a lot of respect for that were talking about Q&As on Instagram over this past week. They were asked what their macros were, which I think is kind of a weird question to ask somebody, but they were both over 400 grams carbs. And I'm like, damn, let's go. You would never see that maybe even 3 years ago. That was
for sure.
It's cool that we're making some good breakthroughs, and especially a lot of respect to you and everybody that works with the ladies out there in that capacity, just to really show the true potential when you're optimizing training, recovery, nutrition. I think that's awesome.
Yes, 100%. Right. When those things work together, dude, magic happens literally. Like I said, it's such a different lifestyle form as well, right? Mm-hmm. When you get clients to that point, yeah, they're tracking their macros, but like I said, dude, for them to fuck up, it's, for lack of a better term, it's very hard at that point. When I'm eating in my off season, I'm making effort to hit my macros. Mm-hmm. In terms of making effort to eat enough. I'm eating cereal on a 3 times a day to make sure I hit my carbs. They're having not only foods they've never had before, but they're able to enjoy a lifestyle they've never had before too, and love the body and love the performance that they have come to know. And I think the stereotype did get broken pretty early, the 4 or 5 years marker ago. Oh, you're not going to get bulky lifting, but I think the level of, or I guess the general expectation of train intensity is what I guess needs to catch up to that expectation now of hey, you should be strong. Powerlifting is a great tool. A fully developed physique is something that we're looking for right now. We got a lot of ass chicks out there still. like just really leveraging all the tools in the toolbox to like to really make sure that like I guess like you said, like females are like, yeah, there's definitely some differences in training, but like in my opinion, like there's not a ton or as many as you think, in my opinion.
Yeah, true. That is true. Bro, you don't even know this, but you actually put me onto some major game a while back.
A game?
Some major game. It's life-changing.
Okay.
Generic Fruity Pebbles.
Fuck the Fruity Dino Bites?
Yeah, bro. Gas.
Oh my God. So yeah, they're gas, 100%. And then I have to give credit to like Bryce Calvin, I mean my old roommate for that. We'd have at all times at least 2 to 3 like bulk size bags of free Pebbles. So,
dude,
maybe a controversial opinion, but the Fruity Dino Bites, in my opinion, are better than the name brand.
100%. You're not the only person that thinks that. I've had people after posting it slide in my DMs and say these are better than Fruity Pebbles, and I agree.
Yes, facts. Yeah, see, for sure.
I grew up and for a while there, I have 3 siblings, and my mom wasn't working for a while, so we had to go to Save-A-Lot because motherfuckers were eating, and yeah. I had huge stigma against off-brand cereals because I would go to Save-A-Lot, I would get fake Cookie Crisp, and it gave me like it just messed with my head. So I said, never again will I ever eat off-brand cereal. Sure. And then I saw that on your story. I was like, all right, it's like $5.88 for 46 ounces at Walmart. I'm gonna cop this and try it out. Better. I
can't support the off-brand Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Yeah.
No go. It's like cardboardish, not as good.
Fair.
Chocolate Dino Bite variation of it, super fire. And then I guess like my other like diet hack, you got to go to Kroger or a Meijer, typically will have it, but it's like Terry Ho's light yum yum sauce. So like everyone loves yum yum sauce, and the majority of people do.
Hell yeah.
And then it's a mayonnaise based sauce, so it's like 14 to like 17 grams of fat. You get Terry Ho's light, man, it's only like 5 to 7. So the key is like you get your BB Bop. So if for those that may listen that don't know what a BB Bop is, it's like best way to explain it, Asian Chipotle, right? And then you just like tell them like hold off on the yum yum sauce, maybe get some teriyaki, and then you can go down house some like light yum yum sauce and be within your macros. So that was a major staple of my diet during this last prep. Terry Ho's light.
No way. That's awesome.
Oh yeah,
that's awesome. 100%. That's awesome, dude. Okay. Wait, say it again. Terry.
So it's Terry, Terry Ho. Okay. And it's like, and I mean, it's just like your normal yum yum sauce in the store, like the Asian section.
Yep.
But this one's like the full fat is like black and orange, and this is like white and orange.
Got you. So, dude, I'm gonna go check it out. Try to find
it. Kroger's and then like Meijer will have them.
Yeah. Meijer's low key has some fire selections for seasonings and sauce.
Oh yeah, man. Absolutely. I'm always like, again, this is like probably like our region of the area. I don't know like how many people like where people live, listen to your cast, but like the Giant Eagle marketplaces, man, those are fucking awesome too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like those.
They got everything.
Yeah, man. For sure. Yeah. Staples of the diet. That's absolutely the Fruity Pebbles are absolutely something I consume quite a bit.
All right, Seth. I have one more serious question for you. Maybe we'll do like a wrap up Q&A, another little hot seat. But one thing that's always impressive to me is when people balance a day job with like a coaching business as you're growing that. So what are some of your keys to do that for those out there? You know, I'm not in that situation, but I know there are a lot of people that are. So definitely interested to hear your insights.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great question. I actually really like that. So for me, it was my first 2 years out of college. Like I kind of mentioned that I worked in kind of like a slave labor job is what it felt like. It was just extremely high demand sales where like customer service is just like it is everything. And I still work in that industry, but in a lot less like intensive environment. So for me, it was just like I developed an ability to like work the 55 hours a week, and it not be super phasing to me. Not saying that's super healthy at all, but
Impressive.
I just think like my output or like what I perceive as stress is a little bit different than most people.
Yeah.
I think that's what it ultimately buys down to as well. And I would say more important than that, there is just level of like I'm grateful to be doing what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
And like being in the physically being in a contrasting environment of like something that you are working to get out of as a daily reminder of like I am extremely blessed, extremely grateful to be working with people that I'm first off like happy to be working with. Like I'm working with a demographic of client that I love and enjoy, and that is it's fruitful for me to like work with these people. And then second, it's like this is serving as a constant reminder of like where I want to get to as well. So it's just being aware. I think like again, aware and grateful of like what I'm doing, who I'm working with, and then consistently making sure that like I do what I need to do at all times. I'll always get to, I'll get out of here faster than I think. And at this point, I realistically could leave my job. Again, I'm just kind of a workhorse, so it's like I'm not going to leave it until I like absolutely have to, and the wheels are about to fall off in terms of the service that I'm not or wanting to maintain.
There's two ways I'm going to promote the podcast. That will be the wholesome way, and then there's going to be dick skin, and then there's going to dick skin lean, and then there's going to be the marry fuck kill. Those are going to be the questions for the podcast.
Oh, dude, solid. How old are you, man? Because like I always feel like there's so many like backdoor like natural bodybuilding terms, just bodybuilding terms that like people hear like half natty and not always know what I mean. Like probably not PC today, but like sick cunt was like a staple of like natty bodybuilding in like 2013. There's so many ones that like are generational, I feel like nowadays.
So I'm 24. I entered like right at the tail end of Ziz, but yeah. So I know some, but that was a good one. Was that from the aesthetics guys? That dick skin lean?
Oh, dude, yeah, like
it's ringing a bell.
That's
now.
like
connecting the
that's
dots.
Jeff's side. That's Jeff's side to the T. This is how old I am, or like how much has changed in the industry since like 2013 when I got into it. Adam Neff, I hope he still has them. I've always wanted to text him and be like, yo, he purchased the very first set of joggers from Gymshark. Like if you like know Gymshark's past, like I forget his name, the owner of it. Yeah. Literally like apparently he skipped his college finals to go open this booth at FIBO, or like one like European comparable to the Arnold or something like that, like a Fit Expo. Mm-hmm. And then his business exploded from there. And then next year he brought on like Side and Ogus and all those Lovato, like the OG crew of Gymshark. And Adam has that very first tracksuit. And then like of course their line is like expanded drastically since then. So
did Adam also buy Bitcoin in 2013?
Dude, I hope he did. I mean, I don't know. No, I mean, I don't. No.
He'd be way too rich right now.
Yeah, he may have like in like 2000, like post college. I don't think I ever heard of him buying. We didn't talk about Bitcoin then, like.
Right.
Yeah.
Dude, I remember the first Arnold I went to was in 2015 when they still had the Hodge twins on Gymshark, and I looked at their shirts like, why would I buy this? And now literally taking over the world.
Oh, I mean, like at least all of Europe for sure.
Yeah,
I think they definitely got bigger competition with like Alpha Elite. I think still hanging in there, and then like Balance Athletica, another blow up brand out of nowhere is definitely doing that well. But yeah, for sure.
Yeah, man, I appreciate your input on balancing the 9 to 5 with this project for yourself though, and in this business, because Man, I don't know. I think, I could do it, but it's definitely something that I'm glad that I can really devote my focus into. And it just goes to show like the fact that you're balancing it, making it happen. A lot of respect towards you, man. And I appreciate your
Yeah.
advice.
No, I appreciate that too, man. And I for like what I've seen of your page, you do an amazing job of like producing content, right? You're a smart dude. You articulate well, like you market well. Those are the things that like I don't have the time to yet. So it's like I'm very thankful for the time I do have and can put towards 100% towards my clients. And thankfully that like my clients are awesome enough that they rave about me to their inner circles. And I've grown almost exclusively through like referrals. And that's a great way to grow your business because you're going to continue to work with people that are like-minded, which is awesome, which is what you want. So I'll eventually get to that day where I can like put out fancy, cool content like you guys, but just don't have the time to right now. And I'll continue trying to grow the business on the side too.
Awesome, dude. Definitely appreciate you dropping the value. I'm thinking, we're about at an hour now. Maybe we close it out with a couple more hot seat questions.
Let's do it, man.
All right. Because I know that you give professional advice, you are exponentially more knowledgeable than most on crypto. Tell me your takes, man. I saw your story where you were like, I don't give advice and like all that. But
no, yeah. So there's a guy that like recently helped me, like, because like coaching's been a phenomenal source of income for me, which is awesome, right? Like it's literally put me in the position where I can afford this apartment and then, like do things that I got to travel out of the Midwest for the first time in my life. I went to Montana this year. So like in December, whitefish. I don't know if you know like Dana Lynn Bailey.
Mm-hmm.
That's where she lives. She lives in Whitefish, Montana. Awesome. Super cool place.
Yeah.
But but like, so I have this, I'm having this extra source of income now. And one of my buddies is like, he's a crypto guy and he's an investment guy. And he's like, dude, you gotta get in. And I'm like, I have no idea what I'm doing. So you're gonna tell me exactly what to do. And thankfully he wasn't like, buy GME at like, absurd prices. He's extremely conservative. So my advice, guys, is open a Roth IRA and really sit down and budget. Have a set percentage. It doesn't matter if it's 200 or 20% or like $20. Sorry. Whatever it is, and put that money back, right? And then the biggest growth factor is just time. You can literally put something in like the S&J 500, and it's going to get likely guarantee between 4 and 8% over 30 years. That's a ton of money. And with crypto, I mean, it's gambling to an extent, which is why it's so fun. And the meme culture is what I thrive off of. So just buy low and then don't buy the pumps. So if you see something blowing up, save your money because you don't know where that line's going to stop in terms of dropping. And between the fees and things like that, it's very hard to turn a profit unless it like really doubles or gets the pumping. So buy in low, hold, diamond hands, and then fucking let it go to the moon.
Yes, sir. Hey, I like it. I like it.
Yeah.
All right. Concluding question number 2. Best and worst short north bars.
Oh, fuck. I don't know. I haven't been down there too much. Let's see. Worst food hall. Food hall. I mean, this is obviously me being a concept, like joking, but I would light that thing on fire if I could. Gross.
Probably
Gross, dude. That's like, dude, probably has. That's like the bar where you freshly turned 21 and you go. You're like, stay at BBR. Was it Big Bar? Yeah, stay at Big Bar down the street, or Tuna. Best. Oh, I really like. But when I do go out, I really like. Town Hall's been pretty cool. Town Hall's been like, I had a pretty good experience there the other night. Pretty packed, but really partial to like I know, like I've been introduced to the owner. He goes to my gym. Really cool dude. And then shit, if we're trying to get like shitty, we're probably going to Lincoln Social. Like trying to get bougie and just try and spend a bunch of money. Yeah, we're probably going to Lincoln, honestly.
I love it. I like that you included that too.
Yeah, if you're trying to get shitty and bougie, we're going to Lincoln. And then probably like Town Hall is probably like the good overall like encompassing of that.
Yeah, so. Yeah. I like it. Good takes. Good takes.
Funny story. I made a fuck ton of money this week on crypto.
Yeah.
When Ben and Jake Paul were fighting, Ben Askren and Jake Paul were fighting, I was like, not blackout, but I was lit. Like I was going hard, and my phone starts blowing up from the guy like got me started investing and everything. He's like, buy the dip, and crypto was dying for whatever reason. And then my buddy Andy Beigel is literally standing behind me, and I'm buying $500 worth of crypto at a time of like Litecoin, Doge, not by Doge. I bought Litecoin, ETC, which is one that blew up. I made a bunch of money off of, and then Urethrin. And I bought those three of like $1,500, and he was dying behind me. And I was just like, the worst possible time to make a financial investment. I'm just like, can send it on this phone.
That's hilarious.
And I made the profits back this week. So like I said, buy low, hold. That's all I can. That's the best advice I got.
That's awesome, bro. Shit. Final question.
All right.
Best gym you've trained at and why?
Ooh, okay. Dang, that's a tough one. In terms of equipment, I think overall equipment, there's a gym in, I'm going to qualify to like kind of mid part between Cincinnati and Dayton, called Power Station. And Power Station was like, if you know Mark Lobliner.
Oh, and yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And then there was a really early Rich Franklin. So this is showing my age again of the UFC. If you ever watched UFC, like back in the kind of Disney, Rich Franklin was from Cincinnati, Ohio. He was a teacher, and he fought like, I think it was middleweight. Yeah, he was middleweight, and he fought like not GSP, like he fought like Anderson Silva and some dogs back in the day. And he like that's where that gym kind of got its prominence from. And the owner still is old as fuck, a Marine. Like kicks people out all the time for dicking around on their phones and stuff, but like has handpicked like through the era of like the best machines. So like in terms of like overall pieces of equipment, everything put together, like amazing, man. So like really, really great machine there. Really great gym overall. If you could pick that up and take it to a place like Columbus, Ohio, it would just be unreal. Because you could then blend culture with it too.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
It's probably the best I've been to, in my opinion.
Dude, if you ever, well, I'm sure you will if you haven't. But when you go to Philly, you have to hit up Iron Sport. I don't know if you've heard of that gym, but it sounds similar. Where there's a guy named like John Meadows just put up a video where he was training at Iron Sport during the.
Oh, okay, yeah. He had all the football players. Yeah, I saw that. That's cool.
Yep. So during the shutdown, and of course New Jersey, when I was living there, those motherfuckers were shut down until September. So I went there and trained all summer, and it was like a 45-minute drive, but it was completely worth it. Every day I would just drive down through Philly, sit in traffic to train at Iron Sport, and same thing, man. Steve Pulcinella, he used to be the winner of the Highland Games. Just like an old dude that'll fucking call you out on social media for leaving shit around. And he's got like all Elite FTS, Nautilus, York plates, any bar, any strongman implement. Like,
awesome, right?
Yeah.
I got to give a shout out to if you ever like want to find another really good gym in Columbus or the Columbus area. It's in Reynoldsburg, so it's out east. But American Barbell,
dude,
that's where Meadows out of.
Yeah. Love that gym.
I mean, Prime, if you guys ever like heard like the equipment brand Prime, is just unreal in terms of like the way that you can load the training.
Yeah.
And he's got a lot of good assault equipment in there, like a pendulum squat from that brand, just like a lot of really good stuff. Hence probably why Meadows is there, honestly.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, that's the reason why I bought those the Prime family attachments, where like you could get like the shitty rope and like a lat pull down for probably like 100 to $200 for the package. But the Prime, dude, they are different. So,
100%, man. Yeah, and yeah, you have to let me know how that goes and get some feedback because I'm the guy that will throw $1,500 at Dogecoin, but when it comes to like funny fact, I haven't owned a pair of lifting straps like to help with bar grip. Never owned them until this year.
Okay.
This year, and I bought a pair of $5 ones off Amazon.
Bro.
Like stingy I can be about certain things. Yeah.
That's funny. So you've never trained with Versa grips?
No, powerlifting.
Yeah,
is where that bike came from.
Okay.
I wanted to make sure I was training my grip all the time.
Yeah.
And then as I've kind of like, I did this season, and I'm trying to really invest in bodybuilding a little bit more. Like I want to see what I can do on an untested stage while still natural. But so I'm kind of like, I'm really dedicated or really focused on the bodybuilding aspect of things right now. It's like, well, if it improves execution and it improves the quality of training session, especially my cool days, which is like my back is where I really want to bring up, or in general.
Yeah.
I'll use the straps.
Yeah. Nice, man. I'm surprised Bryce didn't ever rip you for not ever using Versa grips, because I see like in his stories he's always calling these girls out like, "Where's your grip? Where's your Versa grips and shit?"
Yeah, well, the girls, I mean, the females, like, again, that's a limiting factor though in terms of like their. So I fully support, had those conversations with my clients before as well. But to my credit, I never had to use straps. So like, I mean, even when I failed lifts, grip is not an issue. So
right, definitely. Nice, man.
Yeah.
Seth, man, I really appreciate you taking time to come on the podcast, have some fun, answer some funny questions, and also get into the more serious and value-driven stuff as well, man. I think you're definitely making some cool things happen, and like just to be able to have a personality and a soul while you're doing it is huge in this industry. So I appreciate that as well as you taking your time, man. But
yeah, I think our conversation a lot before like we even hopped on this podcast. I mean, I talked for a while, and it was very like-minded. I think if there's a will, there's a way to maintain quality and the integrity behind fitness. And then ultimately, it's like the money will come if that's a partial motivator for you. I think it should be to an extent, because it's going to provide you the tools and ability to provide cooler services, different products, enhance the overall product, you're going to call it, in terms of coaching for your clients. And then just like having the want to just generally help people. I think that's what's cool. And I feel like I always say like it becomes what's the phrase I use? It's a positive feedback loop for a lot of people, right? Like once they get a taste of success, they want to do it again and again and again. And then before you know it, like can truthfully change, someone's lifestyle completely. And that's when it becomes really, really rewarding for me personally.
That's awesome. That in itself is, I think, all of the evidence and purpose for that positive feedback loop to happen for you, man. So definitely looking forward to keeping up with you and all you got going on. If the people listening want to follow you and stay along with everything that you're doing, where could they find you, man?
Yeah, primarily through Instagram. Is like you can also find my coaching application through there as well. It's S like Seth, my first name, Baker, my last name, 9412. Don't have a YouTube. On TikTok to watch some funny videos. That's about it. And then email and stuff like that. You can hit me up there. Just Seth Baker 63@gmail.com. But love engaging with everyone. So reach out, shoot me a DM, whatever works best.
It goes down to the DMs. Guys, I will link all of those things. So if you are interested, I really would appreciate it if you followed Seth and supported him in any way that you can. make sure to do that. Seth, are you ready to watch me go Derek from More Plates, More Dates?
I want to hear it, man. Let's go.
Thank you all so much for listening to episode 36 of the Trainer Scoop podcast. If you'd like to share the podcast, feel free to send it around on Spotify. Leave me a 5-star and written review on Apple Podcasts. That helps out a lot. And if you're watching on YouTube, make sure to like, subscribe, comment, ring the notification bell. I think I got it all. Yeah.
I'm impressed. I was like trying not to make a face so you went laughing. I'm damn, that's good.
Bro, I zoned in. All right, guys, for real, thank you so much for checking out the podcast. We'll catch you in episode 37.